I know how we get this wall to work. 2x4 wall here, 2x6 wall there.
This is from?
It's been so fantastic. I mean, it really is. This community has become over the last 2 years. Brian Gwynn from the Wayne County Economic Development, he said, well, I tell people, you know, this idea of, you know, there's different types of capital out there. You know, everybody talks about venture capital. It's like coming out with money, you know, it's always money, money, money. It's like there's other things you can do. And he said, I always use you as an example. I said, yeah, Brian, we're the perfect example of what you can do with very little money, you know. People, I think, there's so many people who are good at things. I mean, especially we have a lot of really talented individual farmers are incredibly resourceful. You know, they can build things, they can do a lot of things, and they're willing to donate that time because they see how this is going to benefit them and their neighbors in the long run. You know, this place was built by people who either wanted to shop here, eat here, sell their products here, and they knew all the money that they saved in the long run saves them money and helps to create a place that they're going to use and they're going to be a part of. The other thing I see is with volunteers. I have a lot of different people who volunteer here. I mean, this is beyond just construction, but people just want to be a part of something. We have everything from, like, you know, Josh is a stay-at-home parent. This is his couple hours to get out at night. You know, we have people who want to do that. We have young people who, you know, maybe they're too young to get a job, but they can come here. College students who just care about the cause. You know, there's a million different reasons that people volunteer, but I think a lot of it is just this, they have this drive to connect to people, and I don't think people get that anymore. And by getting to volunteer, getting to feel like you're a part of something good and you're doing something for other people, I just don't feel like, I know I didn't used to get that in my job. You know, it's like, oh, I go to work, but I didn't, it's, you know, you don't get what I'm saying? You don't get that togetherness, and I think people are looking for that, and I think people want to help. I think we're going to see a lot more volunteerism in the future. I mean, either because of lack of work or because of people are not feeling inspired with their job. So we got the award in October. In December, a couple of days before Christmas, we get a big fat check in the mail for the full amount of the grant. So then we've got all the money in the bank. It's enough to make a small kitchen. So what we did is basically we got $29,500. We figured out how we could use that enough to make our kitchen so that we could have our cafe, and then on the off hours allow producers to use it for some limited value adding. So with that, what we'll be able to do is we're bringing people in. This is another sort of an incubator for a job. So we're not hiring a chef. What we want this to be is that small businesses, small people who are interested in, you know, starting their own restaurant or cooking or catering can come in here, use our facility for a very low cost, and come out to the front, buy whatever products are in season, or work with our producers to say, hey, I have a ton of seconds at home that I can't sell, you know, and run that all through the cafe. So it's going to be a benefit for the producers to have an extra outlet for things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to sell out here, you know, as retail. It's going to be a benefit for whoever's using the cafe or using the kitchen, because they get to start their own business basically with, you know, no risk. You know, they have no more risk than what they're putting into it today. You know, what they buy, they set the price, they make it, they sell it. And then they're keeping 80, I think we're going to go with 85%. So we're upping our percentage a little bit because we're going to, you know, purchase some of the items plus, you know, electricity and everything. So, you know, we see that as a big benefit. You know, maybe this person gets big and moves out and starts their own restaurant. But for now, this is a nice way to get started. And then in the off hours, since it's a licensed commercial facility, we can use that for value adding. So if you're a producer and you have a big pumpkin, you know, nobody's going to buy a 20-pound pumpkin. So either it can be made into pumpkin soup, or maybe it can be cut into slices or quarters and to be sold out front. We can also do things like carrot sticks, hummus, cream cheese frosting on cakes that we couldn't do before. So, you know, we're not going to have big equipment. It's going to be very small scale, but it's having the facility and having the license is the biggest thing, like, you know, the biggest impediment to people.
Yeah,
Yeah, my name is Tara Herberger, and I have a 33-year-old blueberry patch called the Bluebird Blueberry Patch, and it's actually by Apple Creek, Ohio. And I have like 7 varieties of berries. Well, with the kitchen coming up, we'll be able to make smoothies. Now that we'll have an operable kitchen that you can serve more than just bagels and coffee. And so we had this great idea to make a smoothie bar. And with blueberries, you can make wonderful frozen smoothies with other fruits. And so I'm really excited about that. In fact, I did freeze some over the winter for my own liking, but now I can freeze many more berries for the rest of Worcester and the surrounding metropolis of Cowtown, USA.
Picture. I just realized I was wearing this. Probably looks hilarious on camera.